Ms. Reichel and Ms. Sonicson?
Yes.
I'm
Yep.
here.
Come on. And Ms. Reichel, do you have video capability there, please?
Not sure how to turn it on.
Okay, you on a phone or on
I'm on a
the
phone.
tablet?
I'm on a phone. I got the voice to work this time, but I don't know how to make the video work.
Both of you raise your right hands for me, please. Swear that testimony in this case to be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you may be seated. Okay, two of you, I'll start with Ms. Reichel, two of your neighbors, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and did this all start with the cat?
No.
What started it?
It started in a grocery store in Rainier when my neighbor, I didn't know she was my neighbor at the time, was being really weird with the cashier, and they were looking over their shoulder at me, and it bothered me, and I said something, and the gal happened to be the daughter of this lady, and they happened to be my neighbor, and they beat on my door. Tamra, beat on my door and came at me violently on my own front porch with her husband screaming across the street. When she realized that I just was sketched out by their behavior, she laughed it off, said her daughter was a pit bull, and then we tried to be copacetic neighbors after that, exchanging, like I would give her eggs, talk to her about things. Then her dogs attacked my dog. Then her cat came missing, and she decided that I did it. And she believed it so deeply that she was on my property after I told her to get off my property. She was harassing me via text messages while I was at work. She demanded to get into my buildings and look herself. I would not let her. She walked into my garage, which scared me, and she would not leave my property. And I just don't want her anywhere near my property. She watches me. She calls me about my animals making noise, that she wants to see them. Like, it's obnoxious. I've walked her through my entire backyard to show her my animals so that she'll just stop stalking me.
Okay.
Okay.
And how do you pronounce your last name?
Sonicson.
And Ms. Sonicson, go ahead. You can do it.
Okay.
Sitting, that's fine.
My family moved to Rainier in the year 2020. What she was saying is correct about the incident at the grocery store. I did go to her. My family moved out to Rainier in 2020. It was not long after that date that I had my first interaction with Jennifer across the street. We heard screaming out loud across the street. It was a fight going on between her and her husband. I simply yelled to her, "Is she okay?" I approached the scene and actually seen her hitting her husband, screaming at the top of her lungs. The next incident was when I was picking up my daughter from the gas station where she works. She was talking bad about me while standing behind me in line. I thought it would be on my best behavior to go ahead and introduce myself to her and let her know that I am the neighbor that actually helped her in the incident between her and her husband. She started getting irate, telling me to get the hell off of her property. That's when my husband came out and was like, "Hey, what's going on?" I left the property. We talked it out. We were cordial after that. The next day she apologized. She brought me some eggs. It was done. She had gotten some goats on her property. I had pear trees. They love pears and apples. So I was picking up the apples and pears and taking them over to her house and dropping them off. I have text messages to prove from her, inviting those things. I tried to upload them, but my files were too big, but I got all the text messages, inviting me over the pear trees, waiting for me to get there. She didn't want her dog to get aggressive with me. I have every text message that she ever wrote me about her here that I can give to you. Do you mind if I approach you and give you these?
Just describe them right now.
It says, there's one here that it says, "Hey, this is Jenny. I'm not home yet, but I don't see that I don't see you in my cameras. I don't want my dog to get upset or I try to eat through the door. I'm on my way home." That's what she said. Because she see me, we're supposed to interact with me bringing the pears over, and I just simply dropped them off at her front porch. Then the second time, our other incident was our dog's interaction. I walked to mailbox with my dog. I have a Belgian Malinois and a shepherd, and we walk to the mailbox every day. My Belgian Malinois takes the keys in her hand, she runs back to the house. This day, her dog was off leash in her front yard with her husband, and they just met noses. It was no big deal. It was simple. Her husband waved it off. I waved it off. It went our simple ways. It was no big deal. I have a voicemail that she left me about the incident that she had called. It's very aggressive and profound language, using the F word, stating pretty much threatening me about the dog. Do you mind if I play the message for you?
You don't need to just sort of describe
Hey, this is Jenny, your neighbor. I'm really glad that my husband told me about
you
your.
don't need to go through the whole message. So you told me you.
Okay, so there's that. So I have that to back it up. And then she pretty much told me in that same sentence, she told me that I needed to leash up my cats. And I was kept on telling her, well, wait a minute, Jenny, how do you leash up a cat? My cats I let them out. There's no restriction of it. Well, then get a fence. Our house is fenced in because of my dogs, but I can't tell you if my cat jumps over the fence or not. My cat loves to go only to one place, mine in her house. And she likes to go look at chickens. We had chickens at our previous home, but she did warn me to lock up my cats. On the 5th, my cat went missing, and she posted this picture on Facebook the day that my cat went missing. This is our cat. She made previous about the whole entire threat about leashing up my cat. So it's like almost out of spite. So there's that information. I was concerned because it is my daughter's lifeline. It's her sympathy cat. We live in a small town. We had a house fire. That's when she got the cat, raised it as a baby. It is my concern because she had issues with the same neighbors behind her and the same neighbor on the side about taking their animals. So I did send her text messages. There was no anger on my part. I simply was just like, hey, Jenny, I apologize. I didn't mean to ever upset you. I have this right here saying that very nicely, Jenny, I apologize if I ever did anything wrong to you, but because of the fact that you said for me to leash up my cat, I have an issue. I may think that you have my cat, but may not by taking him, but we checked your outbuildings. He may have gotten in because my cat's an explorer. He may have gotten into your outbuilding. She has many outbuildings in her backyard. And she did show me the goats. I was doing the whole pair thing. It's the only interaction I've ever had with her. That night, she tells me, oh, she's harassing me, telling me I'm at work. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to deal with that. I'm not going to please stay off my property because I went to my buy box and I heard my cat crying. I heard my cat like it was needed water. So I'm thinking that's what made me think that maybe he accidentally got in her outhouse. She thought that I was insulting her. I have a text message proving that. And then so I literally followed the sound. As a mom, my daughter, I literally heard my cat. I didn't go in. I literally got to her driveway and I knew I was going too far. I heard my cat. I went home and immediately called her. Hey, can you check your outbuilding? That's when she got really aggressive. So she invited me over and that she would help me look for her cat. I have a text message to prove that from her also. And it shows that just me and my 12-year-old son, who was here today, went over there willingly. I had a Christmas present because I knew she likes cow things, presents, stuff like that. She ended up throwing the gift. I never went into her garage. She ended up throwing the gift back at me, but this has proof that just me and my son went over to her house. Nobody else. She threw the gift back at me. And that's when my son took my arm and said, Mom, come on. Now I have been trying to be the best parent I can. I've come from a long way. I've come a long way. And this is one woman that I don't want to deal with. So my son grabbed my arm and we were out the driveway. But as we were coming to the driveway, my neighbor, we live on a road. We live on a little private driveway. I have a person that's on the side of me and their guests were pulling out. Jenny literally ran up and I was in the middle of the road by this time and tells me she's going to fucking kill you, bitch. And got irate with me, with my son there. She's going to kill us. So I immediately said, that's it. I'm done being nice. I went in and called 911. And I said, look, I'm being threatened in the middle of the street over my cat is missing. I'm hearing it coming from the street. She's aggressive. So the guy says, tell me flat out, well, there's nothing that we could really do. And on top of that, her husband jumps in the car with a black bag. When we walked up to the driveway, she was grabbing some styrofoam wrap from her thing. And I said, what are you doing, Jenny? You know, I didn't say, I said, I'm not here. I just want you to look in your outhouse. But she put something in a black bag and her husband jumped in the truck and took off while we were arguing. I thought that was very upsetting to me. That's when my son was like, come on, let's go, Mom. But then that's when she rushed me while I was in the street, not even in the property anymore, and told me she was going to fucking kill me. That's when I was like, that's it. But my neighbors had flashed her with the high beams and said, you're a demon. She was acting crazy. So literally I went home, called 911 like I was supposed to. They told me to call. They can't help me. Call animal control. Maybe she took them there because she's taken the dog next door to us that roams around to the Humane Society. So that's what I did. I've been searching. But the next morning when I made that phone call, an officer that she knows personally showed up at my front doorstep being very aggressive, gave me a warning and a harassment thing, but it was just his notes. So I came down to the court myself to file claims against her for the protection order, for the civil claim, for threatening my family. She threatened my stalks my daughter at work. This is not me doing this. Literally, I have helped her out with her animals. I only called her once in concern because I seen a coyote going across the front. We watch out for each other. That's how I was raised. I work side by side with Thurston County Animal Control. She's involved herself in my cases. I have dogs rescued that she actually went over to the people's house and got intervened, but I was the one that actually had them rescued off the property. I'm doing my part and I'm being very, very respectful to her, even though that she's been aggressive to my family since day one. I was warned of her since day one. But I have every piece of evidence here. I wasn't able to upload them, but the resemblance, my son, there's no husband yelling, what the hell's going on? Because he heard her being irate with me. And I've done my part in doing this. And this is a whole harassment thing that needs to be dealt with because I tried coming to court with it, but she beat me to the thing. So now I'm here just to back it up. I have everything to back up the text messages. She's harassing my daughter at work. Literally, people are driving by my house. It's gotten to the point where she owns the town pretty much. She's lived there her whole life. I'm the new girl. I refuse to be friends with her. I don't want to be friends with somebody like that. I keep to myself. I don't leave my yard. My dogs don't. Me and her husband, we even say we're cordial. Me and her husband are cordial. It's overwhelming. And she's so aggressive that I'm scared of her. I have papers today to serve her, but I don't want to even interfere my family or someone who I know to give her the papers. So I don't know what else to do. I've done my work. I've done the proving fact that she is completely lying about everything that she's saying about me today. And I stand up for myself completely. I have everything to back everything up. And I do believe if you look at the pictures closely, I have a Maine Coon cat. It's a very rare Maine Coon cat that has spots. This is the same cat, almost like she's throwing it in my face. This is my daughter's lifeline. My animals are my love. Just like that. And I said to her in my text message to her that we have one thing in common, Jenny. It's the love for our animals. I've been so, there's no name calling. There's nothing. She's threatened to kill me. She's put her hands on me. She's throwing my gift at me that lay in the driveway for 2 days after. She's threatened my son. She abuses my daughter at work by being aggressive with her. I'm not going to stand in your line and being aggressive. It's getting out of control. And I'm trying to be the nicer person by all I can do is have my facts together. And that's what I've done. I couldn't upload them to you. I apologize. But literally, I have every fact to back everything up that she's been harassing me with the police department. She had my truck needed to be moved 1 inch because she wanted to fine me for that. It's getting out of control. And I need it to be stopped or dismissed because there's nothing on my part that I'm not doing anything but trying to be the friendly neighbor. The only reason why I contacted her about her animal, I love goats. I had some pears and some apples. She was willing to accept them. She took me on a tour of her backyard. She did when I was giving her the apples and the pears and the branches because that's what they had. She didn't have any pear tree branches. I do. I'm going to pass them your way. I try to be cordial with her because she's so aggressive.
All right.
May I add one more thing, Your Honor?
Go ahead.
Last night, my daughter had an incident at her gas station. The same police officer pulled up at her gas station to handle a towing incident. And he had asked my daughter, hey, you going to your court date tomorrow? My daughter was kind of caught off and she was like, oh, well, what court date? My mom's court date? Yes, I'll be there tomorrow. And he even asked her, do we have a problem here? And the tow didn't get done. We have a small little town, Rainier, and it only has 2 gas stations. And my daughter's one of the persons, she's been there for 1.5 years. She works her butt off. But she's got the town in her pocket. She's lived there her whole life. I'm not trying to intervene with that, but she's having been harassed by the police department. I made the 911 call that wasn't accepted. He served me with fake papers he pretty much scared me on my doorstep that I did something wrong. And my simple concern is for my family, the care and safety. And she has more than one harassment on our block. It's not just me that she's put harassment papers on. She has, I think, 3 of them that I know of that she has harassments with already. This is an ongoing issue with her, and it's getting out of control. My son also is 12. He's a minor.
How old's your daughter?
She's 22. And he is microchipped. The cat is microchipped.
All right. Well, frankly, the 2 of you are saying much the same things about each other. And I suspect what you both are asking me really is tell the other one they're the one who's at fault here. Somebody started it. You want Ms. Sonicson wants me to say Ms. Reichel started it. Ms. Reichel wants me to say that Ms. Sonicson started it. And frankly, I don't know. I've heard both of you say very similar things. So there are 2 approaches I can take. I can either not issue any order and just direct the 2 of you to understand neither one of you wants contact from the other and not to go onto the other's property, or I can issue orders on behalf of both of you. Ms. Reichel, Ms. Sonicson appeared in court seeking a order. The judge at the time referred this matter to today's calendar. Ms. Sonicson has affirmed for me today that you've not received the paperwork, but you've now heard everything she's had to say as to why she needs that protection order. So I'm going to hear from each of you. Ms. Reichel, which approach is your preference? both not have orders and you just agree to leave each other alone, or you both get orders? Ms. Reichel, you go first.
I would like her just to leave me alone and stay off my property. And I own 5 cats of my own, and it hurts when one disappears. And I'm sorry her cat's gone. And by the way, my Facebook's private, so there's no way she would have gotten a picture off of it. I just want it to stop. I just want it to stop.
Okay.
So
Ms. Reichel?
we don't have to do an official order if she agrees just to stay off my property at all times. I do not go on hers. I don't want her on mine. That's that simple.
Okay. Ms. Sonicson?
I feel like
Okay.
there should be.
Okay, hold on. Dial it down a little bit, okay? Okay, so Ms. Reichels said she's, as long as you don't go on her property, she's fine not there being any orders both ways. What are your thoughts?
Well, I do have it. It's Jennifer Ray. It's on her, this is her account that I got the picture from.
Okay, we're not gonna solve.
I understand.
Okay,
I understand,
slow
sir.
down. We're not gonna solve the cat issue.
Okay, I understand that. But what I'm concerned about is the threat of the killing me and my son in the middle of the street. It does cause for concern. She's very aggressive.
Okay, no, you don't need to just.
Okay, well then,
You're either
I can
gonna
go
get
ahead.
orders, or neither one of you are gonna get orders. That's the way I see this. So you tell me which of the two.
Well, then neither one of us. Well, I guess we'll just be cordial then.
Okay, so you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So at the request of both of you, I'm not going to issue orders because I told you I can't tell from testimony one way or the other, and I haven't been there. I don't know who's the more aggressive between the two, so I can't say one gets an order and the other doesn't. So I'm not going to do that. With the understanding of that, then you both have said to me you prefer not to have orders. I understand that as well. So I will make very clear that this is all on record. Ms. Reichel has made clear, Ms. Sonicson, that she does not want you on her property at all. She claims she doesn't have your cat, and you're going to have.
There's
You
nothing.
can't. Okay, just understand. She does not want you going onto her property, and she doesn't want you contacting her. And Ms. Reichel, the same.
Yes.
Ms. Sonicson doesn't want you contacting her or her son. Her daughter is in a different matter that if the daughter wants a no contact order, she'd have to come in. But I suspect it would be smart if you don't have anything to say to her daughter when you're at the gas station where her daughter works. And hopefully the two of you can respect at least that understanding between the two of you to keep yourselves from coming back into court. So
Yes.
We've made a record that neither one of you wants contact from the other. So
Correct.
contact down the road will be clear that in spite of that request, it is harassing, because that would be the only reason to have contact down the road. So I won't issue any orders today at your request, but I will note that you each have agreed not to have contact with the other. And so Ms. Sonicson's in court. I'll sign a denial order on these, and we'll give her a copy of that. And Ms. Reichel, your denial orders will be available in the district court file for you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you both. And Ms. Sonicson, you can just.
Crazy. Is it against the law to threaten a minor?
It's against the law to threaten any.
Exactly. Okay. Stop. We're fine. We're good. Can I ask who has the right to use my name as identification when it comes to this whole thing being, is this a dismissal? I'm not understanding.
I'm denying each of your requests for an order at your request.
But who, I'm talking about, okay. Okay. I want this dismissed completely. I think that's where I'm at with that. It's like, I don't.
Yeah, you're going to get denied both requests, yours and Ms. Reichel's, are being denied, and you're going to get copies.
Okay, thank you. Can I ask a question? If I would have been able to turn this stuff into you, being that they're facts and from her phone number, would have made a difference?
Nope. Yeah, I believed everything you told me,
Okay,
so it's
Thank
not
you.
that
Thank you,
I
sir.
didn't see it.
Thank you.
But you can't turn it into me when she's not present. So
Okay,
she heard what I heard.
okay. Can I show you just the pictures? Can I show you the pictures, sir?
Well, actually, no, let me stop you. You can't because there's a provision which
understand.
says that I can't see things that the other party doesn't see.
So, okay.
So you're not allowed to show them to me unless she's.
I'm gonna get justice for him. I'm gonna hopefully find him these microchips.
All right.
So is this my paperwork right here, sir?
Yep, you're all set.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Happy New Year. Sorry about the holiday. Thank you so much, Jess. Thank you so much. Have a good day.